In and Out with me, Professor Yalman, from the TEDU radio studios at TED University. This is to reach out to those who have questions and want desperate answers. Why me? Because I've seen it all. I've seen it all in different aspects. I have been up, down, I was fired, I was hired, I was poor, I was rich. I fell in love, I lost my love, I became a kite surfer, I became a writer, I became a poet, I became a musician. I never stopped trying. At the end of the day, I never stopped trying. I never lost my hope. There was always a pinnacle in my life where the answers to those questions came. And if those answers are not coming by themselves, here's your chance to ask us. Ask us and I will answer them. As I say, life can get even or you can get a 7. So a 7 you can get much easier, not just believing in luck, but being persistently pursuing your path, which is your authentic path. Ask the questions. In and Out with Professor Yalman every week on Thursday with you. In and Out with Professor Yalman from RadioTEDU Ankara studios at TED University. Here's me, but today I have someone who is actually in every program here, Arda, because he is like the director and the producer of this program at RadioTEDU. He's the hidden talent behind all these different episodes. So Arda, welcome. And I believe Arda has some questions which was asked through either our radio channel or Spotify to us. By the way, you can do that. You can send your questions through LinkedIn or RadioTEDU or Spotify to us, and we will be glad and honored to answer them. And over to you, Arda. What are the questions? And again, our appreciation and thanks to your talent and your efforts of making this program possible.
Very welcome, hocam. It's also good to be in front of the camera, actually, rather than editing stuff, Let me introduce myself, actually.
Yes.
I'm Arda. I'm 20 years old, third grade student of economics and business administration. I'm also a coordinator of broadcasts at RadioTEDU. Basically, I manage and adjust all the broadcasts and live streams of the RadioTEDU, I would say. As I'm working for the radio, some questions are asked to me.
Excellent.
And most probably people wanted to ask you, so I'll just narrate them today.
Sure.
There will be 2 questions,
Okay.
actually. The first question is, how does Semih Yalman stay energetic? As lots of young people feel like they're at their 70 years old, What's your advice on that?
Staying energetic is something actually which has 3 different legs. Number 1, your nutrition, what you intake, what you eat, what you drink, etc. Number 2 is your inspiration of how you feed yourself with excitement and inspirative things. And number 3 is action, what you do. So let me start from the last, action. I like things which are moving. I like things which are actually in a certain rhythm and flow. So be it kickboxing, be it skateboarding, be it surfing, be it a conversation with the class. I can never be stagnant or I see, for example, I even describe balance as imbalance. There's balance and imbalance. So if you're in balance, you're in balance. So that's why what I say is stability, or being just in a system where it's always repeating yourself. There's no movement in there. So exploration and experimenting is for me movement, and whatever movement I experience is for me action, which is feeding my energy. Number 1 I said was nutrition. Nutrition is something which is actually which describes your entire, which regulates your entire hormones. So, for example, drinking 3 liters of water every day, eating greens, and staying away with a lot of from a lot of meat. Yes, meat is important, but staying away, not too much. Having a diet where you don't eat all the time. For example, my first meal is at 11 o'clock. And then my second meal is around 3 o'clock or 4 o'clock, and I sometimes stay there. I don't even continue further. Taking liquids inside your body, which is, for example, for me, is very important that I don't doze off. For example, having a lot of alcohol, that's not me. It doesn't do good to my energy. It's very toxic for me. At the same time, nutrition is not just food. It's also air. What airs you breathe, like being outdoors and going hiking, going surfing. That oxygen you intake is also nutrition. But at the same time, nutrition for me is also people. So I don't like to be around toxic people. People who are actually performing bad habits, which are not good for their physical being or mindfulness, or people who are gossiping a lot, people who are talking about how something is impossible. Those are not good for me. So in my private circles, I try to maintain my nutrition of people, food, and at the same time air, in the format which gives me my energy. My second one was inspiration. For me, inspiration has 3 also different methods, which sort of makes me energetic and fulfill my energies. Number 1 is surprising people, doing surprises for people. So giving is for me an inspiration. Number 2 is producing new methods, producing new ways of approaching certain things, producing new programs, writing a new book, or composing a new song, or trying a new trick on the skateboard. So producing. And number 3 for me which is very, very important, experimenting with a collective mind. So not always like thinking, I did that, I did this, whatever. Co-creating with actually minds I believe in, minds who actually I think nurture me and nurture the quest of the idea at the same time. So again, nutrition, inspiration, and action gives me back the rejuvenated energy that I need and I like performing every morning until I sleep.
Hocam, also can we say that being spiritual would work out or not?
Spiritual, actually, that's a good question. I'm going to give you a colloquial answer, but I believe in that. We are actually not human beings. We're spiritual beings in a human body. We're we're energy in an avatar. So we are spiritual. Believe it or not, we are. I mean, to be aware of our spirituality, there are different methods. There's religion. There is practice of certain things like yoga and meditation. Even like intermediate fasting or fasting brings out the coexistence of your spirituality within you. So spirituality is not like I'm choosing to be spiritual. No, you're spiritual, full stop. In your organism, but the choice is, actually, do I want to sort of touch base with my spiritual self or spirituality or not? Not touching base with your spirituality is a choice, but touching base with your spirituality brings advantages, of course, because then you descend. You descend into a different level where all of a sudden you're accelerated. In terms of your light, in terms of your energetic fulfillment, you excel in your transformation, in your evolution. So you're all of a sudden, the more you touch base with your spirituality and your soul's energy, you start discovering things that you never thought you knew, but it's sort of pre-coded in your energetic system. You start connecting with people in a different format. You start connecting with things or incidents with a different reasoning. So yeah, spirituality has a lot of wonderful elements to it, but it's a choice. But at the end of the day, you got to be ready for that. I mean, it's like I always say, if I were to sort of take your hand and put it into an electric outlet, you would get a shock, right, of 220 watts. So you would just, and your body is not equipped to sort of handle that. Spirituality is the same thing. I mean, to handle your own spiritual power, you got to get ready first. So that's why, I mean, religions brought things like namaz, whatever, into being. So you get ready with your flow, evolution in terms of grounding yourself and awakening your energy points with water. And then on the other side, things like yoga is there to prepare you for the meditation, which is a higher level of mindfulness and awareness, which is touching you base with your spiritual self. But at the same time, I see a lot of people going into spirituality through drugs, and I think that's a very dangerous and wrong thing, because once you are in drugs, then yes, you might be connected to your spirituality, but because of your awareness levels drop, you might be actually connecting to other dimensions of co-created existence, which could love to be involved in your vessel of avatar. So other energetic beings could be and want to be with you in your human body. So all of a sudden you might be going through different electrical and energetic discrepancies. So choosing the way of touching base with your spirituality through drugging yourself, I think is very dangerous. I don't recommend it. I've seen bad results. I've never tried it myself, but I think spirituality requires to be fully aware, fully present, and fully connected.
Hocam, thank you so much. And their second question is, how did Semih Yalman attain this super lifestyle?
I don't know whether it's a super lifestyle or not, but it's like connecting the points. I mean, all the things that you like doing in life, putting them all together in one basket, and then finding your playground, and then making it look so that it's a wonderful movie which you watch and say, okay, I reassure myself that I am on the right path, even though I do wrong things. They're all for my own exploration and exclamation in terms of excelling in life. Some people might look at my life and say, it's not super at all, because this guy does not have the luxuries that I have, and I think being luxurious in life should be the key of happiness and superness, whatever. Some people might look at it and say, this is just show. Underneath, I think there's nothing. He's just a show off, whatever. Some people might look at it and say, this sort of a life is, yes, it's nice, but it's not sustainable, because he's going to age one day, and what's going to happen to him later on. Some people might say, this is a life which has a lot of different consequences with it, so it's unstable. Those are going to be always like comments, but if they call my life super life, it's a life that I have co-created with the consent of God for myself. I mean, it was me going to the village and starting kite surfing. It was me who's selling the sailboat and not wanting to be on a sailboat. It was me who was actually sabotaging myself and getting fired from a corporation where I was making a huge amount of money. It was me actually getting divorced and all of a sudden not being a very stable family. It was me actually, I can tell you the entire super duper life story from a very depressive and negative format as well. But it was me taking the consequences and bearing the consequences. Yes, does it have difficulties? It has difficulties. But do I like every episode of my life? Yes, I like every episode of my life. I like myself as a professional. I love myself as a teacher or a professor. I love myself as a yogi, or I love myself as a now and then a Sufi. I love myself as a skateboarder, surfer, but I'm not labeling myself. I am not any of them. I am a collective unity of them, which they call a super life. And the way it looks super is because I film it now and then, and I look at it. I look at who's co-starring in it. I look at how I'm handling things in it. Am I a super skateboarder? No. But am I a skateboarder? Yes, I am a skateboarder. Am I a super kite surfer? No. But am I a kite surfer? Yes. So at the same time, it's like, waking up in the morning and even like wearing this tie, choosing this tie, it should be a ceremony. A life is a ceremony. So if you celebrate life, it will be a super life. If you don't celebrate life, it won't be a super life.
Hocam, thank you so much.
Thank you very much. And do you have any other questions?
No, but
I have a question for you.
Okay.
You're listening to all these episodes,
Yeah.
and there are all these guests and everything. What do you feel? Do you feel like your contribution, what we're doing right now, is a fulfillment in your life, or do you think does it give you any hints about you, what you should be doing in the future, or is it just a hobby which you're doing and you're liking?
For sure, actually, I feel more focused on my life. Actually, I have some progress on my life. Like, finally, I have a morning routine, which I wanted to have before. I listen all the episodes and I take my notes actually to my mind. I feel like it made me developed in some sort of things. Like, for example, I'm more spiritual right now after listening all the things and after listening all your advices. And as I said, I feel more focused. I try to leave all the leftovers in my life. I try to skip some useless things, and I feel I'm more into beneficial things in my life. I would say that.
Excellent. So, I mean, I was always wondering because, being at the back of the camera, back office, listening all this, but at the same time putting all the energy, effort to this, which you're doing a great job. I think you can even go and develop a career from here onwards. I mean, any recommendation, I would be the first to write for you. So I just wanted to understand the mindset and the feeling behind it. Thank you very much, Arda. Yes, In and Out with Professor Yalman, with this very special episodes with 2 key questions of spirituality, but at the same time energy and lifestyle. And Arda's also, in a way, hindsight for us in terms of how he feels doing all these programs and producing them for us, from TED University, RadioTEDU studios in Ankara. In and Out with Professor Yalman. With the next episode, we'll be back again, and I'll see you next week.
Teşekkürler hocam.
Okay, Nur'u da alalım.
Tabii. Bir yarım saatimiz var. Geçebilirim.